my name is Coach Maddie and I am your go-to guide for everything weight loss. And today I want to get a little personal with you and share some embarrassing and kind of disgusting habits that I used to have around food that I have overcome. And I want to share this with you because I want to be really open and vulnerable and say, this is where I started and this is how far I came. And if I can do it, you can do it. So the first thing I want to talk about is before I lost all my weight, I've lost over 80 pounds. Before I figured out how to do that, I was kind of at the end of my rope. I had tried every diet you could imagine, every app, every type of gym and workout, and it was just nuts. And I was getting really discouraged. And it was just so overwhelming that I almost didn't want to keep going. I didn't think I could keep going. I didn't think I could actually lose weight. I thought this was just how it was and I had to settle and it was never going to get any better and this was the new me and I should love me and body positivity. But even though I was telling myself to be positive, I didn't feel positive. I didn't feel like I loved myself or liked my body. And so in that kind of headspace, I developed quite a few bad eating habits. And one of them was I would hide when I ate. I was embarrassed. I would eat so much all at once, people would make comments about it. And then I started hiding what I would eat. So late at night, I would go into the cupboard. I'd make sure I didn't make any noise on the stairs as I went down. I make sure I didn't turn on any lights to wake anybody up so anybody knew. And I would finish, my snacks, my chips, my peanut by spoonfuls of peanut butter, and I would finish them hiding in the pantry. And if there was noise, I'd stop and I'd freeze till it was safe. It was crazy. I hid eating because I was so embarrassed, and deep down I knew I shouldn't have been doing it. I knew my body didn't need it. I knew it wasn't good for me, and my body was telling me I was ashamed, and that's why I was hiding it. So I used to really strategically, like a spy, hide what I ate. And what you eat in private shows up in public. And so I wasn't fooling anybody except myself. That was one habit I had to work really, really hard at. If you're struggling with hiding your food or sneaking into the pantry late at night, I would tell yourself, okay, I'm allowed to eat whatever I want. I just can't hide it. I can go eat whatever I want, whenever I want. I give myself permission. I give you permission. It's just, you have to go eat it in public. You have to go eat it in front of somebody. And you'll realize very quickly that you probably won't want to do that. And so there's your answer of what you should do next. So that was one of the habits I had. Another habit I had was I kind of lived in this all or nothing mentality where I was either, 1,000% in and committed or 1,000% not committed and just blowing up, being lazy, eating whatever I want, not planning, not prepping, all of that. And when I would get in those little highs and lows, really intense extremes, when I was really, really good, I'd throw out all the bad stuff in my house. I'd throw out the cookies. I'd throw out the chips, the crackers, all of that stuff. I wouldn't even keep peanut butter in the house because I knew it would throw me off. And when I would do that, I'd throw it all out. And I remember quite a few handful of times that I went back into the garbage and pulled them back out to eat them because I had an emotional, stressful day. I just threw them out the night before. They were already in their package, so it wasn't like they were dirty. But I just pulled them right back out and I actually kept eating them. That's how strong of a pull food had over me. I couldn't control it. I literally went dumpster diving for my food, for my cookies that I threw out. Nope, I need it one more day and I'll start fresh tomorrow and I'll throw them out and pour water on them instead of just throw them out. And it was, it's gross to say out loud, like I did that, but I'm not gonna be ashamed because I don't do that anymore because I had to go through that to be able to feel as free as I do with food now and as in control as I do now. So that was another habit. If you find yourself kind of being tempted like that or having a really strong impulse connection with food like that, go the step further and you can just not buy it. You can ask the family to hide it so you don't know where it is until you get your willpower back and some balance back. Or what I started doing to stop myself from doing that is I would throw stuff in the compost and then pour water over it. So it was inedible. And that's what I had to do to build myself up and create that disconnect and that distance between those urges and impulses. And then once I got balance back, then I could keep the food in the house and not be always thinking about it or always giving into it. So that was another habit. One of the other habits that I had around food was I was just really unprepared. I didn't do any meal prep. I didn't put any thought into the meals that I wanted or what time I was going to eat or when I would have time in my day based on what my week is going to look like. So I ended up going through drive-thrus a lot. I remember that there was a point in my life for probably a year and a half, where every single day I was almost in the drive-thru 3 times a day. I would get McDonald's for breakfast. I would get sausage egg McMuffin with a hash brown and usually like a muffin or a cookie. And then for lunch, I would go to A&W and I would get a burger and onion rings or chicken strips and fries. And then at nighttime, I would usually end up getting butter chicken and or pizza. Actually, I remember at one point I was eating the exact same amount of food as my husband every day. We'd get home. On the way home, we'd each order a medium pizza and we'd eat it in the car together on our way home from work because we owned a gym together. We were eating pizza at 10 o'clock at night in a car together on the way home from working at a gym. That is how strong of a hold food had over me. I was a fat gym owner. It's insane saying out loud, but this is how low I was. This is how little control I had. So please, if you're listening, you can do this too. You can do this too. I felt like I was forever a slave to my cravings, my impulses, my urges, my emotions, and just food in general. I had an awful relationship with food. It was always on my mind. What to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. I shouldn't have had that. What am I going to eat when I get there? When do I get to eat next? I can't wait to wake up and eat breakfast. Like, it was always on my mind. And it's not that it was something that consumed me. It was just something that took up a lot of space. Took up a lot of space in my mind, and I didn't realize how much space it did until I tried to create that distance, and it had such a strong pull and kept pulling me back and was the reason I kept failing over and over again. And so during that period of my life, I gained 50 pounds in just 1 year. And that was from these drive-thrus for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was the most exciting part of my day. I couldn't wait to wake up to eat breakfast. I couldn't wait to take my break to go eat lunch. And I couldn't wait to finish work to go grab my butter chicken. And it was nuts. And I was always stuffed. I was always lethargic. My skin was absolutely awful. I looked tired. I had dark circles under my eyes. I was breaking out. I even got really, really bad stress rash. And that was just a really low point. My body was not happy with me. I was always had indigestion. I was always bloated, and I was wearing baggy clothes all the time to hide how full and stuffed and uncomfortable I was. And I would even wear a baggy sweater in the summertime. Literally, it was hot. I was sweating, and I told everybody I was cold just so I could keep wearing the long sleeves and something that didn't cling to my stomach. How crazy is that? Now, the last habit I want to share with you that I was stuck in a pattern of for so long is I would actually eat so much in one sitting that I would throw up. I wasn't intentionally making myself throw up. It was just I wasn't paying attention to how full I was. I was mindlessly eating, bored eating, emotional eating. And I just ate and ate and ate until I was so uncomfortably full. I looked 3 months, 4 months, 5 months pregnant, and my body was like, I'm gonna burst if I don't get this out, and it would puke. I would eat so much I would have to throw up because I was so uncomfortably full. I didn't have any control. My brain and stomach weren't even connected to tell me I was full. I would just keep going. And once I started, I couldn't stop. It was because, years of dieting, I felt so restricted. So that when I had something and I allowed myself to have a little treat, my mind went, oh, you're never going to get this again. Go crazy, stock up. Kind of like I was going into diet hibernation and I had to get it all out of my system, which was silly because I could eat whatever I wanted any day of the week. But for some reason, when I went into these little bouts and cycles that I would get in, I would just go, thinking I was never going to get it again. It was kind of like my animalistic nature took over and Madison wasn't present. Just the animal showed up and my mind checked out. A lot of mindless eating. So those are some of the embarrassing, intense, gross, disgusting habits that I struggled with for almost 2 decades of doing that stuff. I struggled. And I'm telling you, I felt hopeless. I felt like this was just my life and it couldn't get any better and it wouldn't get any better and I couldn't fix it. And I was forever going to be obsessed and consumed and a slave to food. And now I am here. And I don't feel that way. I wear tight clothes because I'm not worried about eating so much that I have to hide my huge bloated stomach. I can keep food in the house and not be tempted by it all the time. I don't hide what I eat. I'm excited to eat. I enjoy every bite. I don't mindless eat. I am present in the moment, and food is my fuel. Not my source of joy. Not my time killer, my distraction. Not the thing that takes up all the space in my mind. And it just took perseverance. Perseverance. I didn't think I'd ever get here. I didn't. But I still kept trying. And if you try long enough and hard enough, it all pays off. It all pays off. Success isn't just a straight line. Success usually looks like this. No results, no results, no results. And then you take off. You ever see those overnight successes? Well, they weren't overnight people. It wasn't an overnight success. They worked for years behind the scenes getting nowhere. And then one day all their